Well, I was thinking that, going forward, leaving the Chibok issue, we should also know full well and see how this can make for a better atmosphere for people to come invest in the affected states, as well as even every other state in the country. Talking about investment, yesterday we had the governor of Akwa Ibom State. He was with us, and we had to look at what the World Economic Forum on Africa is about. And since it's about inclusive growth, creating jobs, are we doing that as a government already, trying to create jobs? I'm saying this because when I take my mind back to the last exercise, the recruitment exercise of the Nigerian Immigration Service, one wonders how many unemployed people we have in the country.
Well, in terms of unemployment, it's not a Nigeria challenge alone. If you followed Obama's re-election, the issue was more about unemployment. All over Europe, we have a challenge of unemployment, and in fact, presidents are losing elections because of the high rate of unemployment. So it's not a Nigeria challenge alone. But coming back to Nigeria, right here in Nigeria, I think a lot of efforts are being made in getting people employed, both at the federal and the various states. Any program that you have as a president or as Mr. President's program and the governor's programs, they are all geared towards reducing the pool of unemployed people. We are trying to create jobs in various ways. If we are talking of infrastructure that is being dealt with at the federal and the state level, we're talking about power, which is the key infrastructure that is being dealt with. It is to encourage investment, and the investment will employ our youths. So every action we take, or we are taking as a government, going back to Delta now, the overall objective is how to create jobs for our teeming numbers of unemployed. We must accept that in the last few years there seems to have been what I call a population explosion in Nigeria. This high rate of children being brought into the world. So it is a big challenge. Now, what are we doing in Delta? We're ensuring that our Delta Beyond Oil program, which is...
Is the program still on, by the way?
Oh, it's an everlasting program.
Let's talk about unemployment a little further, because there's some articles I've seen which there is concern about unemployment in the country generally, but then they also narrow down in the Niger Delta. Let's talk about in Delta State, for instance. You talk about Delta Beyond Oil. With respect to unemployment, how has that project impacted unemployment?
Well, first, let me say that the project is not a one-day project. It's a long-term project. Like I did say, it's a lifetime project. Okay. First of all, what does it mean? It simply means that we're an oil-producing state. Unfortunately, a lot of our economic activities now revolve around oil and gas alone. I keep using myself as an example. Growing up in a local community that had no oil, no gas, we lived well because we were able to farm, farming and fishing. And because we're able to farm, we're able to eat 3 square meals in a day. Because we're able to eat 3 square meals in a day, we're not hungry. Because we're not hungry, we're not easily angry. And because we're not easily angry, the violence was very minimal. But that is not the situation today. A lot of communities, especially the oil-producing communities, have polluted soil, polluted water, polluted air. And so they are not able to farm, and they are not able to fish. So they cannot even feed themselves. 3 square meals, they cannot feed themselves. And that's, they are prone to hunger, anger, and violence. So it's a cycle. So for us, let us use the money that's coming from oil to see how we can develop other areas of the economy. That is what the delta beyond oil simply means. Because the oil itself, if we are not sure when it will finish, we are happy or we are lucky that today the price is still hovering above $100 per barrel, but it can crash to as low as 20, and that will affect not just your economy but the Nigerian economy. Now, what are we doing in dealing with that? In using it to develop other areas of the economy? We have to look at what we call the growth drivers, and these are, of course, peace and security. It's very important that we ensure that because without a secured environment, it's difficult to be talking of investors coming. So we are doing a lot in the area of peace and security. We're also doing a lot in the area of infrastructure, especially in the area of power, partnering with the federal government and partnering with some of these private investors that are buying the assets at the federal level, and also try to generate our own. And just 2 days, as part of this, the World Economic Forum, 2 days ago, a day before the activities. A lot of people do not know about the Economic Forum. It's not just a talk shop, but a lot has been going on since on Monday. And Delta State has a part of what has been going on. 2 days ago, we were able to sign an MOU with the Canadian firm Sky Power, who have signed an MOU with the federal government to deliver about 3,000 megawatts of electricity through solar.
To the federal government or to the states?
So the 3,000 agreement was with the federal government.
Okay.
And they also signed a purchase agreement with the federal government to ensure that the investment is secured. Out of the 3,000, we as a state have signed agreement, an MOU with them for 1,000 megawatts to be located in Delta. We know that some of that will enter a national grid. And once it enters the national grid, we don't know where it will be utilized. But we're also working with the federal government to ensure that at least 30 to 50% of that is utilized within the state. And that can come through captive power and working with the local.
What about the raw materials, the manufacturing end of some of those panels? Are they already done over there?
No. They're also going to be done in Delta. That is part of the MOU. They will bring their factory and manufacture the things in Delta. So that was what we signed 2 days ago with the Sky Power.
When do they plan to take off?
In fact, they have started. They have now located the land. They are back to Delta, looking for the land. Their Minister for Investment from Canada was there. The Canadian Ambassador was there. Our own Minister for Trade and Investment was there. The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Power, represented the Minister of Power. They were all there during the ceremony. So infrastructure is very key. Power, transport infrastructure. We are developing 2 airports simultaneously in Asaba and Warri. We have a lot of roads that we are constructing, major roads, what we call economic roads, that we are constructing that will ease the movement of goods and services. We are happy that we have also that the federal government has also virtually completed the railway line to Alaja. We have seaports that have been opened up. The Warri port is now more active than before. Cocoa ports, Brutu ports, those are the concessions, and they will become more active very soon. So we have those infrastructure, including industrial parks, the Warri Industrial Business Park that we are developing. So peace and security, development of infrastructure, very key. Then we have also, as a great pole, education of our people. Because you have to prepare them for what I call the incoming industrial revolution. Education from the primary to the tertiary level, including skill acquisition. We are concentrating on that. And of course, you also need a healthy workforce. So the area of health, we're also paying a lot of attention to that. And other social issues like public transport, water, and all that.